Welcome back to 12 Days of Crocheted Ornaments. Today we're going to be making this little gift box. A little gift box that is indeed openable, and you could make a gift or like a gift card or stitch markers or some little tiny thing that you could put inside and make the box. What a sweet, thoughtful, handmade gift. So let's get going. For this project, you're going to need your usual scissors, a needle for sewing things up. This one's going to call for a measuring tape, a 3.5 millimeter hook. I like to use two different colors of yarn so you can get some contrast between your bow and your box itself. And then last but not least, I use this plastic embroidery carding, this plastic mesh for structure within the box so it doesn't squish down. I find that this is best. In the effort to have you not buy things you don't need, you could also use cardboard. That will kind of squish a little bit easier. You could also use the plastic from like a milk jug. You can get creative around this if you don't have access to this mesh. So we are going to start by chaining 13. This is going to be for the top of the box. And we are going to chain 13 and single crochet for 2.5 inches to make the bottom, or I guess actually the top square of our box. So I've worked up my little square, and now I'm going to start my first side. And what they're basically going to do is make the front and back. This just gets folded over. So you are going, for this first one, all we need to do is single crochet on the back loop. This both creates a little hinge for us and also kind of tells us our starting point. So I'm going to single crochet this entire row on the back loop, and then I'm going to work it up until the flap itself is 3 inches. So this part in total would be, 5.5 inches. And then this is another piece of it as an example. So you work up this first part, and then you are going to flip it. You are going to single crochet into your original chain and work 3 inches off of that. And then you're going to flip it, and you are going to chain into the side of your piece. Remember, anything's a chain. If you believe in yourself, you're going to chain right into this, and you're going to work up, you guessed it, 3 inches, and do that on each side. So each side has a piece hanging off of it that is 3 inches long. So for instance, I finished my first little 3-inch flap here. So I'm going to turn my work, and I'll just do the side one next just because it's the most accessible. And I am going to find this little seam here between the bottom and the side. And I'm going to start my first stitch there. And you can just crochet right into those spaces between your rows. And this is going to be 12 single crochet because that's how wide your other ones were, because you chained 13, 12 active stitches. So that is 1, 2, 3, 12 stitches worked into here, which I know is going to be the same width as this one. So I'm just going to keep working it up for 3 inches and continue all the way around. So I've worked all the flaps for the top of my piece, and now we're going to do all the other pieces before we start assembly. So next, exact same method, you are going to chain 11. You're going to work it for 2 inches, and then you are going to make 4 flaps that are each 4.25 inches. So each one of these is 4.25 inches. So this is going to be the bottom of your box, and then you're also going to make my crochet bow pattern from last year's 12 Days of Crocheted Ornaments. It's available for free on the same place that you found this one. And then the ribbon that goes around the box is just a chain of 50, and then you put double crochet into it. So just a little double crochet ribbon. And now we are going to start with assembling the structure of our box. So you are going to cut pieces of whatever support system you've decided to use that fit here with this folded over and sewn closed. So for the bottom of your box, this is 1 3/4 by 2. And you'll need 4 of these. And for the top of your box, this is 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. Again, you can just measure them here. They don't need to be perfect. They're just here for structure. And you're going to make 4 of those. And like I said, you're just going to use the many ends that you probably still have hanging on to sew this inside of here. And then also, once all of the structural pieces are sewn in, you are going to sew each corner together, and that's how you're going to get your little box structure. So you can see me part of the way through this last piece now, and if you absolutely hate sewing things up, I get it, a lot of people do, you can even sew up the seams while you sew pieces together. So for instance, there's my open seam there, this one I'd already closed up, but if I want to, and this is just how you close the corners, I press them together, match them up, and then work my needle back and forth, making sure I grab the outer layers and occasionally grabbing one of the inner ones so that I can keep that little piece of structure secured. So all of our ends are woven in and the top of our box fits over the bottom of the box, and you can absolutely adjust these sizes to make different sized gift boxes that would be so cute on or around your tree. You just need to start with your bottom part and then work your flaps up off of them, and the flaps all just need to be the same length so that everything sits nice and neat, but feel free to adjust as you want. The last thing we need to do for this is put together the ribbon for on top. So you're going to take that double crochet ribbon that you made earlier. We are going to sew it into a round, and while we sew it into a round, we are also going to incorporate our bow on the top. I'm going to take the bow that we made. Again, this is from my bow ornament pattern from last year's 12 Days of Crochet Ornaments. It's also available free for you, and you are just going to sew that ribbon onto your bow. Just grabbing this back loop of your tied ribbon and incorporating these together. And then just slide it on top of your gift box and you are set to go. You could even do a double ribbon. You could do another one of these if you want that like cross here thing going on. And then just pop it under your crocheted tree and enjoy.